What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I'm going to make sense. I'm going to switch it up today. I'm going to make sense out of something, okay? All right, I'm about to lay something heavy on you, man. All right, so, we all know what identity politics is, okay? And it is breaking everybody up into small little groups of people that they have something common with. I'm going to make sense out of identity politics and why it is necessary for the Democrats to use it. Well, first of all, if you are a party that has no real policy ideas, you are really a socialistic party and a fascist party, but you're projecting that behavior on other people. If you're a party that majors in nothing more than trying to get in power and stay in power, then you have to resort to underhanded tactics to win, which brings me back to identity politics and why that strategy works for the Democrats, because it is the easy strategy. It's the easiest way to try to win. Now, let me explain. See, when you deal with, say, the Republican Party, they talk about problems, they talk about solutions, and they present ideas. Okay? Now, these ideas have to be internalized by individuals who is listening to them. All individuals, okay? They're not looked at as just this small sect of individuals, this group of individuals. It's Americans. Hey, America, here's some ideas, here's some politics, and what do you think about it? Whether you're black, white, Asian, Mexican, or whatever. They don't care about that. Right now they're saying, what do you Americans think about this individually? And if I can convince more individuals to think like this and say this is a good idea, then they will vote for my idea or me as a candidate. But the Democrats can't get individuals to think like that. They can't get them all saying, you know what? That was a pretty good idea. And this guy next to me might not agree. Okay, that right there forces them to have to appeal to everybody's intellect. They would have to provide some type of reasoning of why they need to do this. That makes their brain hurt. They don't like their brain to hurt. Okay, don't make them think stuff. So what they would rather do is divert to something that they all have in common. So they sit in their think tanks and they say, you know what? Instead of trying to convince individuals why this makes sense, let's look at a common problem that all these groups have in common and then break them down into percentages. Okay, so we need what, 51% of the votes? Okay, of American votes. Well, how many gays are in America? Oh, well, there's 7% gays. Okay. We want that 7%, so we start off with 7. How many blacks? 14%. So all right, that gets us up to what, 21? Okay, so we still need some more. What other groups do we have? Latinos. Now, Latinos make up 30%. Oh, okay, so if we get them, we got 20. Okay, that gives us, we right there. That's what they do. They don't look at individuals. They look at big groups and percentages. But see, the problem with that is that if they go in on policies and try to convince all blacks about the policies, that allows them to think independently from what they have in common. So all blacks, contrary to popular belief, don't have everything in common. We are individuals. Same thing with gays, lesbians, you name it. So now, instead of trying to convince blacks of, you know what, why is it making sense to sell our jobs overseas? Or why is it making sense to have a broken immigration system and an open border? Instead of trying to do that, what do they have in common that we can just unite them together to vote for us? They all hate slavery and racism. So forget the details, forget all that. So we don't want to get into our policies, because we know that if we go in on that individually, that gives them a chance to weigh our policies by their reason, by their logic, and all of that stuff. We don't want that, because then they start seeing that it doesn't make sense. So we will divert their attention away from our policies and unite them together under one cause, which is fighting against racism, because you're all a victim of it. Then they go right over and they say, okay, so we got 90% of the black vote. Cool. What percentage do we need of the gays? They go over to them. Yeah, you all, everybody else is anti-gay. They're fighting against your rights. They hate you. and all of that stuff. Okay, shoot, we got almost 100% of all the gays voting for us. Now let's go over here to the Latinos. And oh, you know what? They hate Latinos too. They want to make sure that Latinos don't come into this country. Want to keep everybody white, upper class. That's it. They don't like people of color. And that's how they operate. Now, granted, it's a primitive method of trying to campaign and win over the favor of people. They're reverting back to the old school tribalistic behavior. Okay, they say, you know what? We live on the east side, y'all live on the west side. Y'all don't need to be coming over in our neighborhood. And they're standing right in the middle, instigating that. That's right, because the people on the west side hate you guys. Then they go over to the people on the east side and say, to the west side and say, the people on the east side hate you guys. That's what they do. And you know what? If y'all vote for us, then we got your backs. Then they go over to them. Y'all vote for us, we got your backs. Well, why should we vote for y'all? Hey. They hate you. That's all you need to know, okay? I don't need to tell you what I'm going to do for you and why it makes sense. Just know that whatever makes you all mad, I'm against that, okay? All right? We don't want you thinking as individuals. Group think. That's what we're about, because we can't win if we try to present an argument that relies on every individual American thinking and saying, does that make sense to me? Not make sense to all of the other black people because of racism. You know, give us a chance to view your policies individually, okay? You can't do that if every time the first thing you do is say, my policies are revolving solely around protecting you guys because you're women and everybody else hates you guys. Well, can you tell me why that policy makes sense? You're women and they hate you. You guys are black, they hate you. We're not going to bore ourselves or you with the details of our policies. Just know sexism, racism, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, all of that stuff. That right there is why you need to vote for us. That is a tactic. And the sad part about this, it is an effective tactic in today's, they've been doing this for years, but it's very effective, and that is why they're doing it. That is why they never want Americans to see themselves as Americans, as individuals. They want you to see yourself as black, white, male, female, instead of Americans, because then they got to do stuff, and they don't like to do stuff. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, breaking it down once again, laying it heavy on your mind, man. Anyway, check me out every Wednesday, 7:30, live in Kevin's Corner. And that's on YouTube. And don't forget to check me out on my radio blog talk show every Wednesday night, same time. And also check out Extreme Tees. The link is in the bottom. If you like something, click on it and you can get it for a 20% discount if you put my name in the promo code, Kevin. And then finally, if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's links in the bottom to do that as well. Hit like, hit share, subscribe, and the notification button, and find me on Facebook and the Twitter. God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner.